Source of love that radiates, pouring up our cold night cascade, so pouring comfort, cascade flowing down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because your always teaches me this solution lies in our door. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make yours most son a good Christian, make yours most son a good Christian. Source of love that radiates, warming up our cold nights, support and comfort, support and comfort, cascades from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their heart, with love in their heart. My soul never loses hope, because your love always teaches me the solution lies in our door. The solution lies in our door. Oh, my mother Zephyrina, harvest of wonderful blessings, make yours most son a good Christian, make yours most son a good Christian. When life lends a hand, it's time to open up your heart. It is time to love one another. It's time to take part. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we give our heart and charity, our lives are transforming into song. Our dreams become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving and serving everyone. When we leave our heart charity. Our lives are transforming into songs. Our dreams become reality. And we join Jesus for eternity. Oh, praise the wise, colors of the sky. Rainbow she beard, Santa look-alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, pouring pain. Oh, praise the wise, colors of the sky. Rainbow she beard, Santa looks alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, pouring pain. Blessed Jimenez, Apostle of the Good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Blessed Jimenez, Apostle of the Light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ.
Wherever you are, glowing seeds of love, as our Master Jesus taught. You will see that behind every sight there's a flame shining bright, tiny spark created by God. I will follow your path, Father, 'cause nobody's alone in life, and the scars of my destiny will be healed by your love. Ooh, ooh. as our Master Jesus taught. Ooh.
Another day, another flower, another minute past the hour. Someday the sky is blue, and suddenly we can't see through. And every day is a fresh new start, when the sun turns off the moonlight. We get another chance to choose the road we want to cruise. And on the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, the new beginning calling after every end. There are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. On the other side of the mountain, there's always a whole new road, and the new beginning calling after every end. And there are a million reasons to pick you up after every fall. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round. It's always a win in the new round.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay during this moment if it's possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We have a special invitation for who wants to learn more about Spiritism. Every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East, we have an online and free class on our course, Get to Know to Spiritism. The theme of this Saturday's meeting will be discarnation. What an amazing topic, right? So if you are interested, join us. The registration link will be posted in the chat. And we also invite everyone to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and the Spiritism Group Path of Life. And now I invite everyone for join me in our opening prayer. So let's close our eyes if you wish. Elevate our thoughts. Master Jesus, we thank you for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday to start and learn more about Spiritism. Thank you for everything you have done for us, and we ask your protection and your love. Please inspire us so that we can always have the best words, the best action, and the best thought in the face of different situations in our lives. Please help us to be a better person and follow your example. May you bless our friend Lucas, who will speak to us tonight, and may we can learn from him. And we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it. The topic of today's meeting is chapter 5, Blessed are the afflicted. Happiness is not of this world. Items 19 to 23. And it will be facilitated by our friend and brother Lucas from London. We also would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted um, by today by Continental Conference America through their Facebook, and it will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. And now we invite our tonight's speaker, Lucas. Welcome, Lucas.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. It is a pleasure to be here tonight once again. Thank you so much, Marceli, Publio, Veronica, and Rodrigo for inviting me. It's always nice to be back talking to you, everyone, about the gospel according to Spiritism. So thank you so much. Tonight we are gonna talk about the items 19 to 23 from chapter 5, Blessed are the afflicted. And the topic of today is happiness is not of this world. Okay, so let's start and move here to the next slide. All right, so we saw on chapter 3, if I'm not wrong, from Gospel According to Spiritism, Jesus said that there are many mansions in my Father's house. What did he mean by that? So he was trying to explain that there are so much more than this physical world we live in. There is not only earth, but there is, of course, the spiritual world, as well as other worlds, other dimensions, spiritual and material, across the universe. And we've learned that Earth is not a place of joy. Why? Because we're going to see later that this is a planet of trials and atonement. So Saint Augustine said in 1863 in Paris that you who have gone to live there must therefore expect burning tears and bitter suffering. But no matter how acute and deep your suffering may be, look up to heaven and bless the Lord for having willed the test to test you. So we know that everything we're going through right now, this existence, maybe previous existence, or sometimes probably future ones, they are temporary. Okay, so this flesh here, this flesh and bones and this matter is it's just temporary, right? We're here on this planet to learn, right? To improve, to become better, to become a better person. So we knew before we incarnated, before we came to this existence, that we would have to learn a lot, that we would have to suffer. It wouldn't be just happiness, right? That's not possible, not on this planet. But we know there are uh, superior worlds where happiness is not only different but more intense, more common, totally different from what we have here. So we can see as well that we should endure our trials with faith, love, and resignation. But why? How would that help us? So, first of all, we should seek consolation for our problems in the future that Jesus and God has prepared uh, for us. So we know that we're constantly evolving. Of course, as we learn, everything should be easier for us. Um, and a lot of what we go through right now are problems or challenges, the causes in the past. So we're just here righting our wrongs, fixing the problems that we ourselves caused in the past. So we who suffer the most, we should consider ourselves blessed to be on this earth, because we have again another opportunity, this incarnation, to learn, right? So this is an opportunity to grow. Uh, I'll give you an example. As a child goes to school, sometimes they don't like it. Sometimes they're like really not happy going to their school, to class, because they think it's boring, because they think it's difficult, but they're learning. And every day as they leave class, they leave school, and they go again, they learn more. They are becoming better people, better students. So same thing for us here. We we choose, as I mentioned before, our trials before we incarnate. So we know there is a process before we incarnate. Uh, uh, um, Here we knew that the harder the trial, the greater and more glorious the victory would be. So we plan in advance. Almost not everyone, of course, but most of us, we know that what we're going to face. We choose actually uh, challenges and difficulties, because we know this will be an opportunity for us to uh, to be victorious. So we knew that if we were successful, we would find happiness after death, after physical death, because our souls would be purified through expiation and suffering. So I know we suffer now, I know it is hard now, but the future will be better because we're gonna learn from it. So do we need to suffer all the time? Do we have to? Is this part of the our journey to suffer and be unhappy? No. What is the remedy for suffering? So only one is infallible: faith, right? Jesus taught us that we should turn our gaze toward heaven. That means we need to have faith to make sure that this is temporary, right? Everything when we go through, all the problems, the hardships, temporary. So faith always points to the horizons of the infinite, before which the few dark days of the present are erased. So do we have sunny days every day? No, we don't. Do you have cloudy days all the time? No. After a few dark days, a few storms, there will be a brighter day. There will be a more beautiful, calm day. But we need to learn from the hard ones, the darker ones, that everything is temporary. And if you have faith, everything is gonna pass. It will be much easier for us. Um, Still talking about faith. I'm gonna show you here next slide. Christ said that with faith we can move mountains, right? So this is of course an allegory. That we're gonna move a mountain physically, but we can do so much. We can produce miracles, right? Faith places us under Jesus' watch care in the moments of greatest pain. With faith, we see suffering as the first happy notes of eternal joy. So happy are they suffer. Let me see here if I can move that. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I clicked the wrong place. Yeah, so again, if we have faith, uh, we can be prepared. We can expect that the sadness is not going to last forever. Again, because happiness is not of this world. So neither is wealth, power, or youth. They're not the essential conditions for happiness. We know there are a lot of people that are really wealthy. They have a lot of money, possession, they have power. They are young and they're not happy. On the contrary, sometimes they are very, very unhappy, even though they have everything. Why? Because earth is a place of trial and expiation. We're here to learn, we're here to suffer, we're here to transform these hard times into something good. We're going to learn from our own experiences. We're going to try to make this planet as well, because we know this place is this planet is changing. It's becoming a planet of regeneration. But for that to happen, we need to change ourselves and then change the world, everyone around us, and the planet, right? So this is the first step: having faith, accepting, because one day, as Jesus mentioned, and when he said about the many mansions that there are in our Father's house in the universe, so planet Earth will be one day a regeneration world, and maybe a happy world, a superior, angelical world. So happiness is in high order planets. We learned there are inferior, low order planets. Also, there are of course the high order planets. I think Allan Kardec on the Spiritist review mentioned, for example, gave us some examples of life in Jupiter, where people are happier, where they progressed a lot, and they do so much more because it's a high order planet. That's just an example. But here on Earth, of course, while we are still here, we know that the human spirit is still imprisoned in the physical flesh, right? Our material, heavy body, but it possesses the fullness of the joys connected with human life. So I'm not going to say we have to be unhappy, we have to suffer all the time. We don't have to. This is a choice, right? Of course, we know that someday we will reach the worlds where we are happier, purified, and perfected. That will happen one day, maybe centuries from now. But while this doesn't happen, we already have the opportunity on this planet to at least try to be happy. We cannot be happy all the time, that's for sure, but we can learn from the small things, from having faith, from being thankful for everything we have right now. So as I was mentioning before, what is the future of Earth? So it is to become a happier world. Of course, becoming a regeneration, then regenerating and becoming happier. That has already started. If I know right now, especially right now, it is a very hard time for humankind, because we see this wars, this war environment. But it was worse in the past. It was much, much worse, because we had more wars than we have today. We didn't have all this technology to help us. And even though all these difficult moments we're going through, we're also seeing that everyone wants to help, everyone wants to collaborate. The majority of people wants peace and not war, right? So through progress, social improvements, then we are working our own regeneration with Spiritism, for example. We are transforming ourselves and also helping to transform our planet to become then a much happier place. That's gonna take a long time, but slowly we're gonna make it, right? One thing that brings us sadness, um, I'm going to talk about right now is when we lose somebody, right? When we lose a loved person. So the loss of loved ones is something that really affects uh, almost everyone. But pay attention, we don't lose anyone. We know that, right? Because um, as spiritists, we know that this flesh is temporary, this body is temporary, and we will meet again the ones we love if we deserve it, if we fight hard for it. It might take a long time or maybe not, but we know that. So, and also we know that nothing is done without an intelligent purpose, and no matter what happens, everything has its reason for being. So if someone has to go to actually, we know death is not the end, right? It's just a transformation. So if they have to go to the other plane, there is a reason for it. So, and all the pain that is strike us here has a divine reason, a regenerating reason. There's a purpose for it. If we are suffering too much when things like this happen, it's because either we want to or we don't know how to face it, how to transform all this pain, all this difficulty into something that can help us. I know it is hard, right? Especially when we face a premature death. So those who die in the flower of youth are not victims of fatalism. Rather, God deemed it useful for them not to remain on earth any longer. As I mentioned, death is not an eternal separation. So we know babies or children or somebody who's young, who dies, who passes away, who actually moves on to the other spiritual dimension. They're not lost. We're not losing them. It's just that it was their time to go. God, again, deemed it wasn't useful for them to stay here any longer suffering. So they did what they had to. They learned from their time here. They also helped us learn or make changes, and it was their time to go. So we need to understand that, right, and accept that, because our loved ones, they live very close to us. It's not because their body is not among us anymore that they're not close to us. So their fluidic bodies envelop us, their thoughts watch over us, and our memory of them inebriates them with joy. So when we remember people we love, we can be happy. We should be happy because we had this opportunity, we had this time with them. So we should be grateful for that. And if we are happy, if we're thinking happily about them, they will be happy as well, right? However, if our unreasonable sorrow afflicts them, it's because we don't have faith. We are revolted, not only us, but the opposite as well. When they are angry, when they don't accept their physical death, that's not good. That's not going to help us or them, the ones who are in the spiritual world. So just continue here. The one who has departed has completed their task, whereas the one who remains perhaps has not even begun. So if we are still here, that's because there's a reason for that. We still need to accomplish something. We still need to learn. We still need to atone. And those who are gone, it was their time to go. They are free to learn from, I don't know, spiritual plane, or I don't know. We know that true freedom, as we see here, true freedom consists in liberation from the bonds of the body. If you are on earth, you are in captivity. So again, we know that we are temporarily here in captivity. We are here attached to this body, to matter, and we should not let this stop us from thinking about the future, right? Stop us from having faith and accepting that after this, there will be so much more, so much better than this, right? I'm not gonna say it is easier if we are not incarnated. It's different, of course, and it's hard to say how it is, but we know for sure that if we're not embodied, if we're not incarnated, for the spirit, it is something easier. Okay, continuing here. Fenelon said that here. Many times, what appears to be an evil is really a blessing, but our faculties are so limited that the great whole escapes our senses. Through thought, strive to live your limited sphere. As you ascend, the importance of the material life will diminish. Material life is only one incident in the infinite duration of your existence as a spirit, the only true existence. So, as we know, the spiritual existence is the most important one, is the real one, right? What we have right now is again too small, too temporary for us to worry about it. I'm not saying we should not be worrying, of course, about this existence or uh, not doing anything. Like just wait until because we cannot just wait. We need to act, right? We need to understand that this is temporary. We need to accept it, but also we need to face all the problems and everything we go through because this is just an exercise, an opportunity, progress. Continuing here. So can we find happiness on earth? So what do you think? I think so. We can. We definitely can find some happiness on earth, not true happiness, not happiness all the time, of course. But here, spotless happiness does not exist on earth, right? But we might at least enjoy relative happiness, right? So right now, the way things are, we can find happiness sometimes. Sometimes it is harder, but why? It's because we create torments for ourselves, right? So then it makes everything harder. We want to we look happiness in material pleasures, right? We think we're only gonna be happy if we are young, if we're healthy, or if we have money, wealth, or power. And that's not true because peace of mind is the only real happiness in this world. So seek for the pleasures of the soul. Again, this was Fanon. And that's true. If we have the peace of mind, knowing again that this is temporary, that after the torments and the storms and the difficulties, everything will be better because we will have learned from it. So everything will be easier, right? Knowing that we can look for happiness on the on small things, right? Being with the ones we love while they're all here, doing things we like, being thankful for everything we have, we are, and we do. Because again, this is a gift from God for us. And why we can find happiness all the times? Some of the reasons are torments caused by envy and jealousy. So for the envious and jealous, there is no rest. They are in a constant fever. So that's because those who are jealous, for example, you have your neighbor and your neighbor has a better car and you're always paying attention to his or her car and their house um, and their children and their husband or wife or their job. You will be constantly worrying about them and not taking care of you. So that will make you very unhappy. Now, on the other hand, if we worry about only ourselves and our dearest ones, if we are working hard on building a better future for ourselves instead of worrying about others, instead of being jealous, things will be easier for us actually right away, right? Because again, you don't have that torment of like being constantly worried about what are they doing, how do they do that, how do they get this or that. So instead you can just work for yourself, looking uh, for opportunities to learn, to grow, to become a better person. So that will help you immediately. That will make your life easier. That will bring you some peace of mind. And of course, that will also help you materially because you're focused on yourself. So one thing we should all do is to avoid voluntary suffering. Again, voluntary suffering because we choose to suffer most of the time because we don't know, we don't want to learn how to be content with what we have because we always want more, right? We always want something bigger, fancier, that draws more attention because we want to be the center of attention. We want to have a bigger car, bigger house, more money, and we don't need that, right? We can be serene because we do not create imaginary needs for ourselves. Most of the time, I would say we have everything we need. We have more than what we really need. However, again, we always want more, and that causes distress. This causes suffering, and we are again voluntary searching for this suffering. So serenity is real happiness in the midst of life's storms. Once again, Fenelon saying that. So that is true. We don't need more than what we have, right? So if we are grateful for what we have, if we accept our current situation and try to change it, we will be happy, at least a little bit happy, happier than what we usually are. Okay, so uh, endure your trials with faith. So faith that things will be better, that things will pass, that if we have faith, things will be easier. Okay, so endure your trials with love. If you love yourself, if you love your neighbor, if you love everything around you, you will find some happiness because love brings happiness, right? Just by loving, you are happy. If you love what not only what you have, it doesn't need to be much, but if you love what you have, you feel grateful for that. If you love what you are, what you have accomplished, so you will feel happier. And of course, endure your trials with resignation, accepting that things are going to change in the future. Brighter days will come. And again, it is temporary. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for this another opportunity to be here tonight with you guys. If you have any questions, any comments, please just send us a message, post on Facebook. We'll be very happy to answer the questions. If not now, maybe at a later time. So thank you once again, Marceli, Veronica. You're always insisting me to come back, and it is definitely a pleasure to be here. So thank you once again. See you next time. God bless you.
Thank you, Lucas, for your presentation and reflections on this topic. It was a really, really good topic and presentation. And now I'm going to invite our brother, Publio, to stay with me in this moment with the questions, because we have some questions and comments in the chat. So the first question Paulo is asking, what are the reasons of our suffering? What can I do to deal with it?
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here too. And this question is very interesting. I was checking the chat and there's very interesting question, but it's what the reason of our suffering. The Spiritism teach us that there's many different reasons. One of them we can create in this incarnation. So doing some things that gonna causing suffering. Another ones come from the past life. So those we have no control about the past life, but there's a learning process and giving you experience and try to not to do the same mistake we did the last incarnation. So that's the way we can deal with those problems. And I saw now the one very close to this question, right? There's one here. Yeah, no, 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 no. See, so understanding, because you ask how, what's the reason of the suffering? So there's another one. So understanding and accepting that we have a spiritual life will give us a strength to support a difficult time. Exactly, it's a continuation of your question. So we understand that we have a past life, so we have a spiritual life. This incarnation is just a moment, like Lucas explained to us. So understanding this will help us. Yes, will help us very much. And Lucas put here the answer too. Help us to make accept the hardship for us to see it was a learning opportunity. See, it's a great opportunity for us. The difficulties, we know that we learn a lot when the difficulties come through. This time that we are living now, the pandemic time, we learn a lot of stuff. Like for instance, we are here on the internet talking about the gospel according to Spiritism, things that we usually didn't do before. But now you're learning. It's a process of learning.
Publio, I think we learn more from our mistakes and from the difficulties that we have, right?
Yeah. There's 2 points about the learning process. That's the reason Jesus came and teach us. So we are not born to suffering or to make mistake. We have the good example for us to follow, right? But most of us don't pay attention the good examples. We learn with our mistake. Like, okay, I understand, but let me do it anyway. So we do, and I said, oh, was wrong. The thoughts was right. So Jesus Christ came 2,000 years ago, teach us how to go through the suffering, how to go through to the, let's say, the hardship, whatever. Until now we didn't learn. So he gave us the lessons. Love your neighbor as your, love God above everything, and your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be happy. Like Lucas said, yeah, love is gonna be the answer for everything.
Yeah, the last slide was wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
was
three
wonderful.
three things for you to be happier. Yeah? If happiness is in this world, how can we build a better place for us and our neighbor to be for us and our neighbor to be happier and also understand each other better? Yeah. So building this, making me understanding is gonna help me be a happier person, and the happier world depend the individual people, like depend on me, on you. We cannot wait for a miracle and everybody start next year is gonna be happier person. No, we have to insist learning this process. This is a curve of the learning process, and like you said, learn with our mistakes, right? We made a lot of mistakes, like let's say in the Second War. So now I say, okay, we're not like he said. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants peace, not war, right? So we learn with the process because the war gave us a very very bad time, the humankind. So yes, we're gonna build in ourselves, and like Lucas said, if you're a happier person, you inspire another person to be happier too, right? And
Yes.
that's the very very good talk.
Happiness is contagious, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like a smile is a contagious too, right? Oh, there's another question we can
It's
answer.
just a comment.
So it is so comforting to know that this life is just a brief passage and that we will know true happiness in the next life. However, we need to do our best now to be a better person and deserve that happiness. Yes, a very good comment, Marcel. You are so right. So, learning the process and having faith. Faith is a very important part in this happiness. So, it's
Yeah,
going to give us the strength to support and continue not giving up.
it's
Was
true.
a great speak to
Yeah,
Lucas tonight.
yeah. What a great talk, great explanation, presentation. We learned a lot from Lucas tonight. So thank you, Publio. Thank you for the participation in the chat. And now we will move to the preparation for tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy and positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the fast, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that you and your family can benefit from. We will now make a prayer in preparation for our spiritual treatment. So, once again, let's close our eyes. Master Jesus, thank you so much for your mercy, for your love, and for all learnings we had tonight. We ask you and the good spirits to help us to absorb all the blessings of the spiritual treatment. May this treatment help us to feel better. Then we will start it. We ask your blessing for this week and our sleep. Please help us, our family, our friends, and all of the humanity, teaching and inspiring us to think and act with love and charity. Please stay with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
Would like to thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and we will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conquerors America at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Good night.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, a chance, my friend, the sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.